fall in love with Makarov.
You might. I mean, he got a sexy Tom Selleck.
Yeah,
mustache.
no, I don't think that's the only way.
Welcome to What in the Anime, your weekly anime podcast. Now, here's your hosts in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Dustin, and with me, as always, I got Tyler, and today we're going to be talking about a couple of our favorite arcs in anime history. We're going to do another 3v3 battle. I think that's just going to be a regular every week. It's fun. We enjoy it. We're going to also be reviewing the Tower of God anime from Crunchyroll. If you haven't watched it yet, what are you sleeping on? It's a great one to watch. Future reviews. So I want to give an update what we're going to be reviewing the next 3 weeks, so that way you guys can plan ahead, listen, watch some of your shows, and then listen in on our episodes. So we're going to be reviewing Gotta High School next week, and then we'll be doing a throwback review of Cowboy Bebop. And then after that, we decided just before we start recording, we're going to do Blue Exorcist, and we're not going to do the Kyoto Saga. We're going to go straight just the first season of it, because the way they did that, it was an ending to the anime. So we figured we'll just do season 1 of Blue Exorcist. So now that all that's out of the way, Tyler, how's your Easter weekend going?
Good. You sure had a lot to talk about, didn't you?
Oh gosh, yeah, I did. That was I needed a few breaths in there.
Yeah. No, Easter weekend's pretty good. Had the kids there, till today, and dropped them back off with their mother. But went to a couple movies. Went and saw Fantastic Beasts, and went and saw Sonic 2. So I pretty much had popcorn all weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't.
That's a good diet food. Right?
Yeah. Okay. So if anyone knows, get popcorn and get Milk Duds. Mix them together. It'll last you the whole movie. Oh, it's my favorite snack. I do it.
I always did popcorn and Skittles.
See, I've never done that. I've heard M&Ms. I've never heard of Skittles. But
Skittles is a good.
Yeah. So, yeah, here on a Sunday, ready to talk some anime. Beat your ass again, like I did last week.
Oh, yeah. We'll see.
Kinda. I got a little crap on the whole Urza. Urza may have been able to win. We'll see. We'll see how this one goes. I don't know how good my characters are. I have one that I'm completely... I have no idea how to bring him into this, but we're going to do it.
Okay.
We're going to try, and you can come up with how you're going to beat it. I hope to give you a win this week, but I'm still going to try my hardest. So
I actually brought my A game. I did research this week. I got character history, abilities, feats. I'm pulling out every flipping trump card I possibly can. And honestly, I do not have the world's best team again, but I'm gonna try.
If you start pulling out their horoscopes and what their birthday,
I might.
At least you got to pull all the strings. So.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, now that our pleasantries are out of the way and we've talked a little crap, we'll get right into the news. And Tyler, why don't you lead us off?
Time for this week's anime news.
Yeah, so to start the news, literally right after our last week episode, we got news on the Dragon Ball Super movie. It starts June 11th this summer, so we got an awesome summer movie. Don't know if English is going to come out around the same time. I would assume a couple months after, but hell, I can't complain. Who would have thought how long this could have taken? So the fact that we only get shorted just a couple weeks, or I guess it would be a couple months. I'll take it.
Yeah, because I think we were supposed to have the early summer, because they were supposed to be April. But I mean, if we can still get in August, I'd be happy.
Yeah, we have so many movies coming out that this is okay. Gives me a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
All the Marvel movies and everything else that comes out. So and
I drag Tyler to all the DC movies.
Yeah, I sit there in despair, but I try to make my way through it. I try to put bias aside and enjoy the movies, but sometimes it's a little hard.
He's a Marvel guy.
Our other bit of news, nothing else really going on in the world. We got Demon Slayer Season 3 trailer, which, if you haven't seen that, gives us the Swordsmith Village arc. So I know you're really excited about that. I am strictly staying away. So if anyone knows, Demon Slayer is my absolute favorite show of all time. I have 3 or 4 different tattoos on my arm of just that show. I love that show. So I'm keeping it a secret. I kind of know the ending because of the manga. I don't know anything else. This is one show I want to be spoiler-free going to watch each episode. So it's an awesome experience for me, especially as an anime fan, because that doesn't happen to me very often.
No, and I'm not that way. I read the entirety of the manga series on the Shonen Jump app, and I know everything's that's going to happen. And everyone always says that Mugen Train is the best arc in Demon Slayer. No, the final arc is the best arc, but this one coming up, the Swordsmith, I am super, super excited about it. You get some backstories on a couple of more of the Hashira pillars,
Mm,
like a couple more of those
don't tell
characters.
me.
And
Don't tell me.
it's really
I
cool.
don't want to know.
I'm
You're
not.
ruining it for everybody.
I'm not gonna get into
No.
any spoiler.
I got a good idea.
But just it's got some cool.
I got a good idea of how it ends. I've seen a little bit of the manga panels and stuff like that, and you can't get away from YouTube videos or certain comments, so you can only do your best. And then, of course, us, we have an anime podcast. We're going to spoil bits and pieces of every goddamn show. So
that's our goal.
Yeah. So
okay, no, it's not our goal. We don't want to spoil nothing for you. We want to enjoy this with you.
So yeah, what do you want to get into right away then?
So we were trying to think of another segment to come up with this week. We landed on our favorite anime arcs. So we're going to be talking about just a couple of our favorite arcs. So I got to, Tyler got to. We have some honorable mentions to go through first. I'll let Tyler kick off his honorable mentions, and then you lead off with your favorite, and then I'll do mine.
Okay, yeah. So my honorable mentions, I think a lot of them are probably going to be the same with a lot of people, but I got York New City from Hunter x Hunter.
Mhm.
I mean, that one's an all-time
Yep.
favorite. I actually have the Tournament of Power from Dragon Ball. I love that one. I have the Grand Magic Games from Fairy Tail, and then I have the Sports Festival arc from My Hero. Those ones are some of my favorites. They didn't make my top two, so I kind of have a different top two than a lot of people probably. So my first one is going to actually be the Dragon Ball Super, the Future Trunks saga. So
Okay,
so
I like that.
yeah,
one.
so that saga basically starts off, if anyone knows, it starts off in the alternate timeline with Future Trunks. He's running from this mysterious figure that is just destroying the world. I mean, who would have ever thought that the character or the main villain of the next Dragon Ball arc, would be Goku Black, would just be Goku himself. So it's just kind of cool. It was a different take. I know the storyline and all that is just a little confusing on how it is, but all the characters that they bring in and the way that things progress, I loved it.
Oh yeah, no, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. You get some of the coolest Trunks moments ever in that flipping arc.
Yeah.
Like when he got that spirit sword or whatever, that one was freaking legit.
Yeah, and I think the my favorite thing about that whole is Super Saiyan Rose.
Oh yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Other than the fact that no one knows why he just got this mysterious form, I don't know if it kind of rivals the blue form. I don't know if I understand it's just Super Saiyan Rose, but I don't know exactly how that clarifies as a regular Super Saiyan. That stuff is a little confusing to me, but I don't know, just seeing
Spell more merch.
Yeah, just seeing just basically Goku Black just kick the crap out of all of our favorite characters was just it was you just see this immortal figure just have his way with everybody, and so it's kind of cool seeing the moments between Vegeta and Black and Goku realizing that his family was pretty much killed. And just all those, and then you get Blue Vegito, which, everybody wants.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's literally. So it's not my favorite part of the arc. My favorite is Rage Trunks. Don't know if that's the exact name, but I call it Rage Trunks. And
I'm pretty sure it is actually.
Yeah, and then just to see his his Spirit Bomb sword, whatever that's also called. That was such a cool moment for me because I was really nervous going into all this if they'd ever bring back Future Trunks, and I don't remember at the time, but I'm pretty sure I was so surprised that they brought him back, and so to do a whole arc after all, the 2 movies and stuff like that, it was a nice fresh take, especially for Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because like you said, I didn't think they'd ever bring him back after Cell Saga.
Yeah, so that was basically my first arc, so I don't know if you want to go into your honorable mentions.
Yeah, so funny enough, Tournament of Power was also one of my honorable mentions. So I had that, and then I actually had a different Hunter x Hunter. I had the Greed Island
I
arc.
really like that arc.
I loved Greed Island, and it doesn't get near as much recognition. A lot of people say the Chimera Ant arc, and to me, that was great. It was like a really cool ending arc to it, but there was also times where it was a lot slower.
Well,
and Greed Island, I didn't have that
when I
issue.
went through my second watch through of Hunter x Hunter there, I think I stopped right before the Chimera arc. Not because I don't enjoy it, but it does have a very slow beginning to it. And so
It
after
does.
you get through the Greed arc, after that one being proclaimed as the slow arc to get through, it was kind of hard to keep going. But it is a very good
Yeah.
arc. But no, good choices so far.
Yeah, and then for my third and fourth, I had My Hero, the Overhaul arc,
Oh, okay.
where
Yep.
saving Eri and all that. That moment was so flipping cool. And then
One of the best songs in anime
yeah,
comes out on that
yeah,
one. I love that one.
that was so good. And then I would probably go with Demon Slayer after that and the Spider Mountain arc.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's my wife's one of her favorite characters. Weirdly enough, is Rui from Demon Slayer,
Does she relate?
and I don't know. I'm like, he's still a villain.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, but he has such a sad story. So
That's every
but
villain.
I actually just bought her. I bought her a Funko Pop. And it's Tanjiro fighting Rui.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'd have to see
We
that.
just bought that the other day.
I'll
Yep.
just check that out.
So those were my honorable mentions, and this is a problem for me. Depending on what my mood is, my favorite like arcs change. But I settled on actually Sword Art Online, and I went with War of the Underworld. It is probably the most underrated arc to me
Okay.
because everyone talks up Aincrad. Everyone talks up,
Gun Gale.
everything else, basically.
Gun Gale and
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever that is. Yeah. So I wanted to do War of the Underworld because I feel like it gets slept on. It has some of the best fight scenes. Like one of my all-time favorite fight scenes in that was when you had the what's her name? Surlet. She's a chick with like the whip sword,
Oh, okay, yep.
and she fought the
Are you talking about that fighter?
Ishkan.
That fight, yeah.
Ishkan, the Polgeist Guild guy,
Yeah, where
the
he
champion,
loses his-
and they were just flipping
He,
going
I
at
love the
it.
fact that he lost his eye. You were able to kind of like get to know his character. I thought he was going to be a little bit of a one off, and that is a very good arc. I actually really like season after you get past the first 6 episodes of season 3, and you can move past that.
Mhm.
It is probably my favorite part of Sword Art. Like,
Oh yeah,
there's just so much going on, and yeah, I get it. Where Kirito is kind of he's a little bit of a vegetable throughout most of it. His Fluck Light or whatever is missing
Mhm.
pieces, is damaged, and he needs his friends, of course. But I actually really do like that. Almost more than I feel like season 1 and season 2 kind of went through their arcs way too quick, and I feel like they redeemed themselves a little bit with season 3 and 4 being the Underworld, and they paced that one. I feel like so well. They didn't rush through it, and it has so much content
Mhm.
that it took a while to watch it, and it was really interesting.
Oh yeah, because Aincrad, I look at that, and that's another really, really good one. That's only half of for the season 1.
Yeah,
Like they do 2 other arcs in season 1,
yeah. Well, I mean,
so like they really rush those.
and you can tell they probably regretted it a little bit because they just come out with a new movie?
Yep, Sword Art Progressive, which I think was from Asana's point of view. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
and I don't know if it's
I know it got a lot of hype, and everyone was like really excited for it because it was supposed to be more true to the manga.
Yeah, and I know it came out a couple months ago. I haven't seen anything on it. I know it only made. I'm pretty sure. I really haven't looked at this in a couple months, but it made only about like 17 million or something like that at one point. But it didn't make a lot. But it wasn't released anywhere. So I mean,
Yeah.
where are you going to make your money? But no, I'm glad they came out with that. I might look that up and see where I can find to watch that.
Yeah, I'll probably do the same, honestly, because I really love SAO.
Yeah.
So other than that, that's all I really had to say about that one. I love the animation, I love the fights, and I also love as his friends are coming in, like Sinon, her reveal to like coming into the War of the Underworld was so
The fact that every single one of those characters had their own little intro moment was so cool. It's a little cheesy, don't get me wrong, but
Oh, yeah.
but I mean,
it was so cool.
yeah, I have no regrets on watching that. I watched it multiple times. Like I watch all these shows multiple times, but when I
Yeah, instead of watching new ones and keeping up on what we're gonna review, you're like, I'm just gonna do a rewatch.
I like to know what I'm talking about. At least think I do. So
No, I get it. So, what's your next favorite arc?
So this second one, you're not gonna guess, but I think you would know me, and you would be like, you know what? Okay, I could see it. So I actually have the Battle City arc in Yu-Gi-Oh. Do you remember?
Oh,
that?
Okay.
Okay, so
yeah. Ain't that the one where Kaiba like held the tournament or whatever?
Yeah, so I know this one's a long time ago. So I'm actually going to go into kind of a little bit of a detail for this one, kind of like how we do for our characters and stuff like that. Because even though I've seen it multiple times and I know you have, it's so easy to forget little bits and pieces of it. So basically, the Battle City is just a dual monsters tournament hosted by Seto Kaiba at the request of Ashizu Ishtar. So you remember who she was?
Yep.
So basically, with her, Kaiba learns of the Egyptian god cards, and his intentions are for this tournament is to win and acquire all 3 cards while being able to defeat Yugi Moto in the process. So this tournament is held in the streets of Domino City. They're using these portable dual disc holograph projection systems that Kaiba designed. Don't know where the hell he came up with these, but totally makes the anime.
I don't know, but they stayed ever since.
Yeah.
Like they're permanent now.
Yeah, so basically Kaiba creates this rule that after every duel, whoever wins gets to take the rarest card from the loser's deck, which I think is the coolest rule in that entire part. So, but basically the tournament participants, they each get like a locator card, I believe. And when they win, they get to take their opponents. And if they lose, as long as they have no locator cards left, they're out of the tournament. But you have to get 6 locator cards to move to the finals. Top 8 duelists advance. So, and then that whole arc is just basically just a tournament arc. Everyone loves the tournament arcs. So, you get Yugi. He kind of learns about the Egyptian god cards from Ishizu too, and how it has like a connection with like the pharaoh's past. And so that's why he wants to do this whole tournament, is to kind of see what the future holds, or what the past is of the pharaoh, and see what the connection, why he is the way that he is. And so basically Yami Yugi, the entire time he's in this tournament, is just getting thrown these rare hunters. Do you remember who the rare hunters are? So they're pretty much
no.
Yeah, they're basically the organization of her brother Merrick. So
okay, yeah, all the people with like the cloaks and stuff.
And basically Merrick, which I'm guessing pretty much he's just the main villain of this whole arc. So he basically wants the Millennium Puzzle and the 3 Egyptian god cards, and his goal is to drain the pharaoh's of his powers. So basically, it was kind of funny looking back into it. I didn't realize that Seto Kaiba excluded Joey from the tournament because Joey just wasn't a top duelist. So he made it to where Joey couldn't enter the tournament. But Joey found a way.
I don't even remember that.
He found a way by, like, I don't know if it was one of the shop owners or whatever, a rare hunter. He fought one of them to try to get into the tournament. I can't remember exactly how it went, but I remember he loses his Red Eyes Black Dragon. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So he didn't even have his Red Eyes throughout the entire arc. He basically worked on using his Time Wizard as his trophy card in place of that.
Oh, okay.
So basically, Yugi fought that rare hunter that beat Joey, and that's how Yugi obtained the Red Eyes Black Dragon. And it pretty much saved him throughout the whole series, the rest of the arc. So it basically goes into the tournament, and Yugi eventually wins and eventually gets the Slifer, the Sky Dragon. And then you get Joey that's when Genzo pops up into the arc. Joey gets his main card, Genzo. And so the tournament kind of starts off with Yugi versus Bakura, and then Joey versus I can't remember his name. I think it's like Odeon or something like that. It's like one of
one of the main 3 guys.
Yeah, one of
villains.
Yeah, one of Merrick's followers or rare hunters.
Yeah.
And then Mai versus Merrick, which you always forget Mai's in that series. And then after that, you get Kaiba versus Ashizu, and then Merrick versus Joey. And I know Merrick versus Joey is one of the top one of the top duels in the entire show, because basically he puts Joey into like this shadow game, and each duelist is drained of their life after each monster is destroyed. So Joey, on the brink of death, he just tries to stay alive, and Joey should have won that fight. Now, I know he summoned that was it the Gearfried, the Iron Knight, and he was going to attack Merrick like when he was wide open, but then Joey passed out. So, but anyways, after that, then it's, you get Yugi versus Kaiba. You get Yugi when he uses like his Dark Magician and Buster Blader and gets the Dark Paladin. So I'm sure I'm going off on this, but I really do love this show. It gets a little blah after the main Yugi series, and then I didn't watch too much after that, like the 5D or whatever it's called.
5D,
yeah. And of course,
I watched GX, which was the one right after Yu-Gi-Oh, and I still enjoyed that. But once they started adding Synchros, XYZ's Pendulum, and all that, I started to like not pay attention.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the show had so many loopholes, and that card game has so many loopholes. It gets ridiculous in how it goes. Basically, that series just ends with Yugi and Merrick, fighting with the Egyptian god cards. So those were mine. I know I went into a little detail on that one, but it's a little blast from the past. So
yeah, and my next one is also like for people who are fans of the show. It's it's old. It's the 90s. I went with Yu Yu Hakusho, and honestly, I didn't want to pick this arc because it's so overpicked for favorite Yu Yu Hakusho arcs, but it is so good at the same time. I went with the Dark Tournament arc. Even though you haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho, you've heard the Dark Tournament.
Oh yeah, no, I've definitely heard it as one of the best tournament arcs. I think, isn't it one of the first ones where people just started using tournaments after that point? Like,
it's a good possibility. Like, I think there were still tournaments in Dragon Ball before that, but it was probably one of the biggest ones where all of a sudden it's like, okay, every shonen has to have a tournament.
Yeah, it's guaranteed. Well, it's where you get your ratings from. So,
yep. So to go into that, basically, they hold this tournament called the Dark Tournament. It's in Demon World, and it's like people die like in this, and they're trying to find the best team. The best team like kind of gets like a wish at the end, and that's the whole goal of the tournament. And you cannot really say no. If you're invited to the Dark Tournament, you're going to the flipping Dark Tournament. Well, Yusuke gets recruited to go fight in the Dark Tournament by Tagoro, who was like a big bad from the arc right before. So he has to go. He has to make a team, get stronger, and all that. So it has the ones on my shirt right now. Has Kuwabara.
You would wear that
Karama,
shirt.
Hiei.
You would wear that.
Yeah, I had to. I wore it just for
I guess
this.
I didn't even notice. I could have guessed that would have been one of your arcs. But you don't see too many people rock around with a Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, there's so much to love about this arc. They have some of the coolest fights, and no, the fighting is not as good as some of the newer animes because this is older animation. This is cell animation where they had the hand-drawn cells in order to make it. So you don't get like fights like you get now. But that said, I still absolutely love this show and love that arc. And like they have a kid in there, Rinku. He is a fighter. He's like a little kid, and he fights Kuwabara, the redhead guy.
Okay.
And it's basically a kiddie version of Killua. Because you know how it's the same writer.
Yeah.
So he fights using yo-yos.
Oh, that makes sense. That's pretty cool.
Yep. So it was a pretty cool fight. And then you have a fight where Yusuke fights a guy named Chu. One of my favorite fights in the entire one. And Chu is like this Australian biker punk dude. He has like a purple or a blue mohawk. And he starts fighting. He's like, oh man, you're going to beat me. So he starts drinking. And he keeps drinking, finding excuses, drink. And then he gets like hammered. You find out that's his power. The drunker he gets, the stronger he gets.
Oh, Rock Lee.
And,
you like him, but you don't like Rock Lee.
You go watch Yu Yu Hakusho, watch Chu, and tell me you don't like him. He is flipping awesome. And then how they end that fight, they do the flipping like put a knife behind each of their feet, and they literally just go punch for punch until one of them falls over. It's really cool. And then you have the final fight against Yusuke and Tagoro, which Tagoro was like the big bad for couple of arcs. Like he was the biggest threat that they had to worry about, and their fight destroyed like the entire arena. It was epic. And I mean, there's so many fights in that I couldn't really go through all of them because
Right.
like each member of the main team fights like 2 or 3 times, at least 3 times each.
Wow.
And there's also so much other stuff that happens in it. But basically, it's a really cool story. You get a super sad moment mixed in with it all that I'm not going to tell you because one day I'm going to force you to watch a Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
I like how we did we each kind of did an anime saga as one of our favorites, like an arc itself, and then we both did a tournament arc without even realizing. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yep. So those were my 2 favorites. I'm not going to get much more into it because I mean it's an old one. A lot of people have seen it, and also it's just so much to get into because you have so many different fighters. Each fighter has a different ability. That's also why I liked it. Is it's the first time you really see a tournament arc where you have somebody using ice power, somebody using wind power, somebody using like body manipulation powers and stuff like that. So it's a really cool arc, and you need to hop on and flip and watch that show.
No, definitely. So, and I feel like a lot of these newer animes have taken pieces off of these older ones, and that's why they're becoming successful. And so I could definitely see going back to an older style anime like that and just seeing where it all started from. I could definitely get into that. So.
Yep, and Yu Yu Hakusho has one of the best openings, and it's the same opening from episode 1 till episode 1.
Well, that's how you know it's good. I am a sucker for some good openings. So, or maybe
it's a classic. It has some trumpets in
maybe
it.
One of these weeks we can do kind of our top 5 intros on shows and stuff like that. So I definitely have a list.
That'd be good. All right, cool. So that's all I had to say. Do you have anything to add on this section?
No, well, it looks like we blasted. Well, we didn't really blast through that. It still took us quite a while, but I mean, now we have kind of our main. I think our main event. This
is definitely turned into our main event. Like the reviews are supposed to be, but this is the main event. It's us fighting, us doing what we do best, and arguing, and me telling Tyler that he's stupid.
I don't even know who I'm going to go up first. I know it's your turn to kind of go into our 3v3 anime battle, and so you're going to throw out your character first, and I'll go off of that. But I can tell you right now, I don't have anyone crazy overly powered.
Okay.
But I do have notable characters. So everyone will know these characters, so I shouldn't have to go too much detail. I probably still will.
Same.
Just to refresh my memory a little bit. But yeah, you lead it off there.
Okay. So just for people who are new listeners, what we do is we do a 3v3 anime battle. We do a random character generator to get our characters. We don't tell each other who we got. And we fight Pokemon style. We throw one out at a time. We fight until that person's dead. There's no like swapping out. Usually, Tyler kind of bent the rule last week, but that was basically so we could have it last a little.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with moderate? What are you gonna do with moderate?
You had an overpowered character. Yeah. So yeah, we're doing this Pokemon style. So in the spirit of doing this Pokemon style, it's only right that my first anime character I throw out is Charizard X.
Oh, you actually pull out a Pokemon.
I got a Pokemon. I got the Mega Evolution X of Charizard.
I am impressed with this generator. That is insane. All right.
I was shocked. I honestly didn't expect Pokemon to be in this generator, and I hit that, and I'm like, this is perfect.
I guess you could go into your abilities, but you only get 4 of them, so I don't even...
Yeah, I mean, that's all I need. I got Charizard X.
You need a trainer, so... Are you a wild?
I am the... I'm the trainer. Okay. I played a bit, like every Pokemon game ever. I'm a master.
Yeah.
And I've had a Charizard before. I got Shadow Claw. I got Flamethrower. We got this. It's in the bag. So, anyway... Charizard Mega Evolution X. So this was introduced in Generation 6. And basically it turns the normal looking Charizard, which everyone should know what Charizard looks like. If you don't, he is a orange dragon who's not a dragon type until this Mega Evolution.
Thank God.
And he goes from being this orange looking dragon to a black dragon with a blue underbelly and blue fire coming out of the sides of his mouth. And I think his horns changed a little bit as well. He boosts up physical attack as well as special. So he becomes a all-arounder instead of being that one-dimensional long-range fighter. He's now close range as well. So I pulled some of like his Pokemon entries. So in Pokemon Y it says its wings can carry this Pokemon close to an altitude of 4,600 feet. It blows out fire at very high temperatures. Another one says that its fire is so hot that it melts anything in its path. And a little bit of history on Charizard. Everyone should know. I mean, Pokemon. If you don't know what Pokemon is, like you've been living under a rock for the last 30 years or 25 years or whatever.
25.
25. So Ash catches Charmander in the original anime. He eventually evolves into a Charmeleon, and I think it was because he was a different trainer before, and maybe he was a little over leveled or something. But once he evolves, he no longer listens to Ash. Like he doesn't give a crap what he says, and that's basically it. He's the super powerful Charizard. Once he becomes Charizard, he just has a problem with listening. And then to go into another Pokemon series, do you remember the Pokemon Origins show?
Yeah.
It was like a web show. Mm-hmm. Okay. So in Pokemon Origins, I'm throwing this out because it was Charizard X fights Mewtwo and he can hold his own against Mewtwo. So that's what you're facing. Not Charizard. You're facing Charizard X who can keep up with
Yeah,
Mewtwo.
wait, isn't he still like 4 feet tall? So I mean
yes, he's like 4 foot, like I want to say 4'11".
Yeah.
He's a tiny dragon boy, but he's a very strong dragon boy. He has the height, the range, and if you get in close, Shadow Claw your face off.
Yeah, I don't know. That you're making that a little tough. Not saying that a Pokemon should be able to beat anybody, and so
they can.
Yeah, I guess. Are you ready for mine?
Yep, I'm ready.
So I don't know who I want to start off with, honestly, but I'll just go. So I got King from Seven Deadly Sins.
So. Okay, I was hoping you were gonna say King from One Punch Man.
No. I got Fairy King Harley Quinn. So I don't know if you know much about him. I know you watched the show a little bit, but he is the protector of the Fairy King Forest and the Fairy Realm. He has a sacred treasure, which is the Spirit Spear. As a member of the Seven Deadly Sins and the current most powerful Fairy King in all of history, King is extremely powerful, such as the ability to levitate and fly. So he can still do that with Charizard. He has the ability to change his appearance and clothes at will. So I mean, he can pretend to be the trainer and confuse this crap out of Charizard. So there's that one for you. It says in his thing that he possesses great speed equal to Meliodas and what is it, Bond. The only problem is King is physically weak. However, he makes up for the lack of strength with his sacred treasure. I'm not sure how much you watched that show, but once he gets that spear, he has the most immense level of magic power. And then it was believed that he was able to control the sacred tree a long time ago, and with it, he could draw out the true power of a fairy. He has a move that he likes to use that's called Disaster. And it's a power granted the fairy bestowed with the title of Fairy King. This ability essentially grants him the authority to rule over the Fairy King's forest and allows King to exercise complete control over life and death by altering and controlling matter at a molecule level. So that gets a little into depth. But for example, he can turn shallow scratches into fatal wounds, minor poison into lethal toxins, a cancerous tumor. He can belittle it. Yeah, he can do so much with it. It gives him complete control over nature, allowing him to manipulate various flower and trees and basically whatever he wants, as long as it has to deal with nature. I don't know. Without his spirit spear, he becomes pretty worthless, but you're getting, Charizard X. I'm getting his.
You're getting the spirit.
Yeah, so yeah. I don't know where that goes. I mean, like I said, he can transform. He's got a pillow that can be a shield.
Does the pillow burn up?
Is it
fireproof?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. So he's. I don't know. I would safe to assume he could beat a damn Pokemon, but And
Okay, we're doing this Pokemon style. I'm saying Charizard has the speed advantage, so he gets to attack first, right? So he's gonna hit with a flamethrower. That's gonna hurt King pretty bad, right?
It can. I just his defensibility.
You said he's pretty physically weak, right?
Without a spear, with his spear can take over any magical power. So I'm assuming it would just absorb it. I would assume it's just absorb it. Like I'm gonna feel real stupid if I'm gonna say the Fairy King loses to a Charizard as just a Pokemon.
I know, but I gotta get some damage off is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I think
I'm trying to say a Shadow Claw or a Flamethrower, he's got to get some damage.
I think in all reality, like Charizard is a pretty smart Pokemon when it comes to battle tactics. And I think as long as he could get rid of his spear, I think he'd be fine. But until that point, like the fact that he can transform into other people, he can...
We face Dittos all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so... I know Charizard can't even beat a clone of himself, so I watched them.
That was in one movie. That doesn't count.
So, what would you think?
Okay, I say that Charizard gets the first attack off. He got to get damage. You can't say Charizard's not going to damage King at all. You already said that physically. King is weak. Like his spear gives him some defense, but he's gonna take it.
Yeah,
King gets hurt, don't we?
Oh yeah, I think King gets hurt, but I don't think King loses to him. You can't have a Fairy King.
Okay, I know, and here's what I'm gonna do, and this is why I'm gonna say Charizard does lose. Okay, because you are the Fairy King, right?
You're leading me into a trap.
We're doing Pokemon style, so your Fairy type is super effective to dragons.
There you go.
Therefore, Charizard takes a ton of damage, but like King's hurt. He's limping.
Yeah.
He's dragon, but he's pretty burnt to a crisp, bald now. He has no hair.
Yeah, he used the old dazzling gleam. That's what he used. just to beat Charizard.
Oh, dazzling! Yeah, there you go.
All right, get it going with your next one before
dazzling gleam kills Charizard. So, gosh dang it!
Don't tell me Charizard was your heavy hitter.
No. I want to save my heavy hitter, so I'm gonna go with this next one, and I think she is well powerful enough to finish off King, who is already hurt and damaged. I got Hinata Hyuga.
Okay.
So I got another Naruto character.
Yeah.
Big surprise, right? We seem to be getting a Naruto character in this generator, at least one every time. So she is a shy, timid nature girl, but she is from the Hyuga clan. She has a Byakugan. She can see points. And it's not just chakra points, so it's not just limited to Naruto. She can attack vital organs. So she can see King's points of attack, and she can damage his heart, damage a lung, make it so his shoulders dislocated. I looked some history up on her because, okay, for all the people that are going to be mad at me, I never watched all of Naruto. I watched all the way through until after Pain got beaten, and then all my knowledge after that is from the video games, and I played the crap out of those, which those do pretty good job of the main story. But looking at her history, her wiki and everything, she is strong as hell.
Oh, she's a beast.
She's a beast. She knows the gentle fist. She has that twin dragon fist still that's flipping beastly. It said in her wiki that she rivals medical ninja because she has reached that point. She is freaking.
Just in all reality, I think just on physical appearance, King would probably be too shy and wouldn't know what to do. And
is he like that with the women?
I don't know for sure.
Is he the perv of the show?
No, he's not. He's not. No, King is basically he acts like, I don't know. He's a quiet kid that.
Okay.
So he's probably not good with the old ladies. So.
No, and she got that air palm so she can hit him right out of the air. I'm saying Hinata takes him.
Yeah.
Especially if he's already hurt. I mean, he has no hair from fire damage. She's gonna come up and just one tap him in the throat. It's shut off his esophagus and he's dead.
It's so funny because King has this ability where he transforms and he looks like this normal kid. Like he could honestly be, you know, one of someone's favorite character. But then when he transforms into like what he really looks like, he looks like he's just someone that lives in their mom's basement. Like he has this big old pillow and a blanket, and he just But don't get me wrong, King is powerful. You watch that show, and his entrances into those arcs or kind of those fights, he does a lot. He is very, very powerful. But
yeah, I don't doubt it. I played that Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross game or whatever for a little while.
Okay.
And I had the King, and he was like a top tier person in the game.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I'd give that to Hinata just on sheer physical ability. The fact that he has no physical, like I'm saying, the only thing that helps King is his spear. Without his spear, he is worthless. So
yeah, and all that takes is her using the gentle fist, hitting him in the hand, and he can't even hold it.
And I honestly don't even think, like I said, I don't know how he would match up against a woman of Hinata's stature, but I'd say she's probably got that. Now, if I'm wrong, let us know. You know, maybe King goes right freaking through her, but I mean, Naruto Universe has a little bit of credibility.
So, Naruto Universe is pretty freaking crazy. Honestly.
So, this is where my three are really hard to judge. I don't know where their power scales. So, my next one is Osta from Black Clover.
Okay.
So he basically, Osta is an orphan raised under the care of the Church of Hajj Village. Osta receives a 5-leaf clover grimoire with an anti-magic devil inside. He joins the Clover Kingdom's Black Bull Squad and the Magic Knights. Osta possesses no mana, and so he is unable to use any sorts of magic. This enables Osta to wield the anti-magic without suffering the weakening effects, since he has no magic to drain. This also makes him undetectable to mana sensors, immune to life-draining substances in the Underworld. He's an expert swordsman, enhanced speed, extreme durability. He learns Ki from Yami. Basically allows Osta to use his sixth sense and perceive and react to unseen attacks and people as a wielder. Basically, as a wielder of the 5-leaf clover grimoire, Osta is connected to like this demon or devil presence who possesses anti-magic too, which grants him access to this energy. The more power he draws on, the more devil-like appearance he becomes. He makes an agreement or a contract with this devil / demon, whatever you want. I know he has a name, but I can't say the name direct. But
I can't. I remember.
Yeah, I can't think of it off the top of my head. So, his right, he basically uses his right arm as an exchange to receive more power. After like getting this contract, he has a thing they kind of call it Unite. After undergoing like the devil binding ritual, Osta forges a contract and shares powers equal to of this devil. It's just crazy anti-magic abilities. So he has the Demon Slayer sword, the Demon Dweller sword. He gets the Demon Destroyer sword. I know he gets like the dual kind of katanas. The katana from Yami that he uses. And basically it reflects all spells. I just don't know. I would assume just off of physical and main protagonist plot armor that Hinata would lose.
See, I don't know. Like, I got a few things. Like, I honestly, and it's not me just like really trying to win, but I am really trying to win. Hinata did get the drop on pain before, and Asta's a close range fighter, and so is Hinata. Like, Hinata goes for those points. Since he doesn't have magic, she can't like hit nothing to make him to where he can't use magic, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But she can do stuff to cause you to like lose function of your body parts, like your arm, your like damage your organs, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it'd be more of a fight than what you would think. But gosh, it's hard to pair up those two universes because Asta does some crazy crap as well. Like, I don't give it to him just on physical, like, strength, because I feel like Hinata makes up for that with the gentle fist technique.
Mm-hmm.
Like, strength don't mean shit if
you
can't, like, throw a punch.
I honestly think if it was, like, I think, like, of course, I think Naruto beats Asta. I think
Naruto one for sure.
I think stuff like that, but I just don't think Hinata herself has. I don't think with where Osta's going and where he's going to be at, where he is in the manga and stuff like that. I think after you taking down King, I don't think Osta
Hinata has enough health left.
Yeah, so I can give you that one. If you, I think they draw. I mean, I think it's more.
I still got my trump card left.
You do, and this is where I think I'm gonna lose. Now, but this is where we can just leave it to the people because I don't know how you're gonna defend this. I don't know how I'm going to. Okay. We'll see. So I think it's a draw. I think
with Hinata and Osta?
I think with Osta, the fact that his durability and the way that he goes on, you don't see him lose very often. So he has that mentality of kind of like Naruto, and I think that'd be a weakness to Hinata. So
yeah, I could see that. And I agree with the draw because I do also see on her side the Gentle Fist kind of negating some of that strength that he got. Like, that's the whole point of the Gentle Fist. Yeah. It's like, they don't do the big hits. They do the hits that cripple the body from the inside.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she would do against a sword user like him with his capabilities. So,
yeah, I'm not sure. We'll just call it a draw. So who's going first for the last?
You're going to, because I'm
going to? Okay. So this one is my trump card, and it is from Fairy Tail.
Hold on.
Okay. I am throwing.
Okay.
Who you got an idea? Who do you want to take a guess? You're going to be wrong.
You think I'm going to be wrong?
Yep, I think you'll be wrong. He's very powerful in Fairy Tail, and it's a guy.
Yeah, I want to say the main. Just go with that. I can't remember his name.
Makarov.
Oh, okay. You got the old guy?
Yeah, I got the old guy. I got the guild leader, guild master flipping Makarov.
Okay, no, that's not what I was going to guess. Okay.
And he is my trump card. And here's why. When I looked up the Fairy Tail Wiki, it gave a power ranking scale. So for his attack potency, it says that his level is at least star level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how strong he is. His intelligence is super genius. His range is a few hundred meters. His stamina is superhuman. Durability, star level. Like, and it said his speed is hypersonic with hypersonic plus reaction speed.
Mm-hmm.
So all around, like, there's a reason why he's the master. And I have stats up here where it flat out says that he rivals the Fairy Saints. Or not the Fairy Saints, but the Wizard Council Saints.
Right.
Like, that's how strong he is. He can rival them. He has a move called Fairy Law. You've seen the show, right?
Oh, I know. I can't stop thinking of how we're going to compare our characters, because you can pull out all of the moves that you want. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that my character is going to be overly powerful or anything, but keep going.
Okay, so Fairy Law is one of the 3 legendary spells exclusive to Fairy Tail, and it is a powerful judgment magic. So what it is it envelops a wide area, mm-hmm. and anyone that he deems as an enemy, they get flippin' blasted. But it doesn't damage anyone that he thinks is friendly.
Oh man, all right. I kind of want to just keep this a secret from everybody. So are you ready? Yeah. All right, so I got a Death Note character.
Okay.
I got Ryuk.
Okay.
So I see your face. You are drawing a blank on how to process this. So that's what I was gonna say. Do we have a time limit for this fight between the two? Because I could just get. Yeah, it's hard one to decipher, isn't it?
This one's really tough because Ryuk, you can't see him.
No, you can't see him.
He can't write people's names himself unless it's the person who owns the book, right? That's why he was able to do like spoiler.
Yeah, so Ryuk, he is one who gives Light Yagami the Death Note and instigates his killing spree and the show Death Note. So he has immortality. He is a Shinigami. He has infinite lifespan and is unaffected by disease, poison, and as long as he uses a death note to kill humans in order to take their remaining lifespan, he also can't be killed or injured by firearms, knives, or weapons. He has intangibility like all Shinigamis. Ryu can pass through walls, matter, can't be seen by human beings except if they are in possession of a death note or a fragment of it. Shinigami eyes can see the real name and remaining lifespan of a human simply by looking at them. He can also make a deal with a human being that is possessing of a death note by giving them the same abilities that he has in exchange for half of their remaining lifespan. He possesses wings, he can fly. I think he can just outlast any human being character that you throw out there. So unless you're throwing out another god, yeah, your character, Makarov, you could throw out all these goddamn abilities, but how do you can't even see Ryuk. And I think from what I read, I'm assuming he can just, as long as he's writing people's names in his death note, he can win. So, I mean,
if you destroy the death note, do you stop him?
No, I don't think.
I can't remember that, but I was just like it popped in my head, like if like Makarov like did Fairy Law and destroyed everything in the surrounding area, could it destroy the notebook, and would that stop Ryuk?
But why, even if that's the case, like why he doesn't even need to bring his death note with him to the world of I don't know how that plays out. I'm at a loss for words for this one.
Okay, so what we'll do for this one, because this is weird. I don't know how that would play out either, because Makarov is insanely flippin' powerful. It says star level, but Ryuk is basically he's what, like a grim.
He's an untouchable god.
He can't die.
So the only thing that I could think in my favor,
but didn't the one of them also die?
Yeah, but I don't think Ryuk is gonna fall in love with Makarov.
He might. I mean, he got a sexy Tom Selleck.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's the only way, as long as they fall in love with a human being. And so I think, no, even if you can't, that's why I'm saying this fight doesn't really make any sense, because I could just outlive whoever.
Right, like this could go on for eternity.
Yeah, and so I don't know. One of these weeks I want to give you a win, because you deserve it.
Might not be this week.
Because you deserve it, but I don't know how you beat Ryuk. Dang
it, dude! I really thought Makarov was my trump card. I was like, man, he is powerful. Like, I got this.
That's why I was so confused on what to do, because I was like, I'm gonna save him to be the last, because I don't know who can defend. Like, even if you pull out some godly character from a Naruto or Goku universe, I mean, can you really still beat Ryuk? I don't, because it's not like Ryuk can fight them.
No, Ryu can't fight, but you can also hurt him. So, like, is it a draw, or do we just leave this up to the listeners?
I think it's a draw. As in a fighting stance, I think it's a draw, because no one can do anything to each other. The only thing I could think of, and I have to look back on Death Note, is if Ryu can just write people's names. So if he can write the name,
yeah. See, that's what I can't remember, because I thought that's why he gave Light the notebook, was because he needed somebody to do it.
No, he lost the notebook and Light found it. And then so Ryuk was like, oh, I'll just play along with this game. And since Light held on to the book, he was kind of in control of. And then Ryuk just kind of became this apple eating god.
The apples were delicious. I don't know. We'll have to do a flippin' throwback anime review on that one soon, because that is a good show. But
yeah,
we'll say draw.
I think in terms of fighting, on terms of fighting, I think it's a draw, because no one's gonna be able to do anything to each other. But in a term of like lifespan, if that can be detailed, if this fight can last forever, then I got you.
Like if this fight has a 30-minute time.
So I'm sorry, that's kind of like a buzzkill of a way to end a fight. But when I get this character,
it's a definite thinker.
I can't just sit there and put him out right away, because who's gonna say Hinata's gonna beat him second? You know what I mean? We don't. Yeah. You know, so it was really weird when I got him. I'm like, okay, well, I'll try to make my case. So.
Okay, so we'll call that one a draw. Listeners, if you want to hit us up, email us whatintheanime.podcast@gmail.com. Let us know if we're wrong, and if you think that Ryuk could win, or if there is any way that Makarov can hurt him. Like, this is a definite thinker for us, because I can't think of any way for any of them, and I don't know personally I can't remember the Death Note book because it's been well over a year since I last watched Death Note.
I just
Um,
I just think the fact that Makarov, since he is a human, I think that plays in his disadvantage.
yeah,
I think,
I do too.
and so if he was something outside of the world of humans, or if he was some kind of demon or something, then I'd be like, okay, well, what is Ryuk's never going to be able to do anything, but he's not a fighter.
Right.
But I don't know. That is one of those ones where, like, if you could either Google something and like do like a fake fight kind of thing, or maybe we can see something. But I doubt anyone's ever done anything like that. But
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm done rambling on about it. That was a good fight. I don't think it
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it beats our other ones, but I'm glad I could put a little bit of variety into it. So
Oh yeah, for sure. That was a good one. I enjoyed it. So all right, let's get into our review.
got it.
All right, this week we are reviewing Tower of God. This is a Crunchyroll original anime made in partnership with Webtoons. This is a South Korean manhwa. Um, and the crappy part about this anime is there has been no announcement of a season 2, and it's a couple years
Yeah,
old.
and I've tried to look up, and just logically looking at all this, I think there's a reason for that. So I think there's two things. I think with coronavirus, I think a lot of
Mhm.
those Crunchyroll originals have kind of been delayed for a while. I don't know if any new ones have really came out. Um, just as the original from like the webtoon standpoint. If I'm
Right.
wrong, please let me know. And then the other thing is, I want to say Crunchyroll and Funimation becoming a thing, buying them
Right.
out. I don't know how many of those Crunchyroll originals are we actually going to get, because I know those originals were kind of like just like they were almost like a test, like just to see how they would produce. And so I know I was reading into some comments and finding some different articles, and there has been hints that end of 2022, 2023, they're supposed to announce kind of a season 2, but it's still in production. There's not anything, nothing is real. You can't tell what's actually true or what's not, but there's a lot of talk of being at the end of the year, which would be really nice because it's been 2 years. And just to find out kind of what happens. I mean, there's a bunch of content to look at through the webtoons itself. And so like the
Yep.
manga panels, or, whatever they call it. And you can kind of figure out what happens. But if you're just strictly anime, you are on one of the biggest cliffhangers a show could ever give you. And there is no
Yep.
way you can just leave it like that.
No, and that's where I'm at right now. It's like I think I'm gonna hold out until this fall, and if I don't hear any announcements, I'm gonna go to Webtoons and I'm gonna read it because it is a big cliffhanger at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the season. It's just I can't leave it there. I want to know more, and that'll kind of give you an idea of how this review is gonna go for me. Spoiler free reaction. I did enjoy it. I really did. The animation style is different. The characters are interesting. You got some character growth in there. You got some cool backstories.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot going for it, and the power system in it is very interesting. And I want to know more about it. So that's my spoiler free reaction. Is I enjoyed this anime, and if you're sleeping on it, don't. It's worth the watch. The first episode is going to confuse the crap out of you. It's gonna throw you in this
Every
world.
episode is going to confuse the crap out of you. But
It gets a little better as it goes on, but yeah,
watch it a
they
couple
don't explain
times.
crap.
And if you don't watch it for the show, watch it for the intro and the outro. Those songs in those are literally one of my favorite intros of all time. It is so good. It is one of those that you just don't skip.
Yeah, it's the Crunchyroll originals
Mm-hmm.
have the intros and outros. They have them down. They know what we want.
Yeah. So it is a very good anime. I don't understand the premise of where they're trying to this Tower of God, like to be able to see the stars or get any wish granted, whatever their philosophy is for that. But their whole objective is to get through this tower where you gotta basically survival of the fittest kind of battle royale style, just a little bit. But then it turns into team based, and then like everyone becomes friends, and then everyone wants to just see bomb. So it's I don't know how much
Yep.
you want to go into spoilers. Um,
That will probably be it for spoiler reaction. Basically, your spoiler free reaction is we did enjoy it. We want more. We hope for a season 2. If not, there is webtoons for you to read and catch up on. So now I think we'll just go full on spoilers. So
Yes.
here is your spoiler warning right now.
So what I've seen is, I think with how much webtoons is out there, I think they had enough content for like 6 seasons, something like that. I think I saw. So they have quite a bit of material to go off of. So
Yeah, I went and I looked at the webtoons and there was hundreds of chapters. There was at least like 200 and some chapters,
mhm.
and then I think it actually went into like a spin-off of Tower of God where it was still the main story and there was even more chapters.
I'm just
Like it has a lot of
I'm
content.
just so worried that about these Crunchyroll originals and not looking at the webtoons themselves of what the pace is like. So I'm worried that when they pull out these shows, they pull a Promise Neverland and just skip through a bunch of stuff. And so
Why'd you have to say
I know. Well, it's the easiest reference I can go to, but
oh man.
I don't know how much they skip, and I know there's a lot of complaints that I got at high school on how they did that anime, which I like that at one, but Tower of God starts off, it is very confusing. You don't understand why all of a sudden Rachel's in their testing grounds, and and it explains it and it goes through a lot of the stuff, but it's, I don't know. It has a good storyline, and I think there's a lot that it can go off of. I mean, you get a lot of characters that you can like in that show. That's one thing that I like about it, is there's a lot of characters you can relate to. Might not remember their names very much, but I think Kun is probably my favorite.
That's honestly, he's probably my favorite as well, but just because you picked him, I will go with Gator because he is fantastic.
He is the comic relief. He is
when he makes fun of the test advisor guy and gets it shrunk down.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, what Hadan, or no, not Hadan. I can't remember what his name is. Hadan was
the guy with the cafe latte.
Yeah, Hadan was the dude in the very beginning. The god or whatever, the rabbit-looking dude.
Yeah, the gatekeeper, the guy who chooses the people to climb the tower.
Yeah, so no, it was a good anime for a 13 episode. You could literally binge it 1 or 2 nights, but I mean, there's one blemish in the entire show, and it's probably Rachel.
Blemish, most hated character in anime ever. I don't know how she didn't make my trash character list because she should.
Well, in
rewatching this, I hate.
And I even told you going into it, I was like, when I was gonna rewatch it, I was like, I'm gonna go in with the fact that knowing Rachel's story and try to see why she did what she did, and just be like, maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe there's details we missed. No, I hate her.
So I clicked into the Crunchyroll deal, and before you make it full screen, you can see what people have commented on the episode. Mm-hmm. And the final episode, the number of F Rachels was astounding.
I would not be surprised if she did not win like anime award, antagonist of the year. Right. I'd have to look into that, but I know she's literally one of the most hated characters, and we could have picked her for one of ours, but that's so obvious. I know it's...
Yeah, it was, and that's kind of why I didn't choose hers. I wanted to go with like kind of a weird one with Rock Lee when I did mine. So. Yeah,
and everything with like the Princesses of Jihad and everything else, a lot of that's a little confusing on what, with their swords, or the 12 months swords,
13-month series.
Yeah, there you go. But overall, if you kind of got to watch it a time or two, because I think there's a lot of details that are missed, and so I think the pacing of the show could do a little bit better of a job. I think if they would have made it into a 20 episode series and did a little bit more background character information, because you don't know where any of these people come from. You don't know why they're in the tower.
You get some on a knock, and that's about it.
Yeah, and so you get Kun, which he's an expelled child of the Kun family. At first he sees Bomb, and he just doesn't think much of him, but then he sees who Bomb really is and kind of builds this strong friendship, and then basically his sole purpose is just lead Bomb to the top of the tower, which that becomes all these characters. And
yeah, everyone wants to, at the end of the series, that's what they say is everyone wants to help Bomb get to
and so it doesn't make any sense is all these people like that have traveled through the tower before, like have all of them became friends, and or do you eventually have to kill your friends by the time you get there? So that's why I'm kind of wondering where it
I don't
goes, because it doesn't seem like a very friendly thing. But then every fight becomes a team fight. You have the team, the people that you connect with, and then I don't know. And then
Not only that, you also have the different roles they're broken up into as well.
yeah. So are you talking about like the 5 basic positions or?
Yep, the fishman or the fisherman, the spears, the scouts, the light bearer, and the wave controllers.
Yeah, and so a lot of those they kind of glanced over those really fast, but I know the wave controllers they kind of just depend on Shinsu.
Yeah, so they make a contract with like this guardian of that level of the tower. So they have to make a new contract at every level of the tower. And they are basically given an amount of Shinsu that they can use on that level.
Yeah, so Shinzu is like it's translated as divine water. It is a substance found within the tower in varying concentration on each floor, like on the lower floors. It's very like inconspicuous and diffuse and really really easy to despair. Like it's just similar to air. So and then like on the higher floors, Shinsu increases in power and concentration, and it's very vicious and flowing, like kind of like a strong water current. And so they use that quite a bit. They don't explain where these powers come from. They don't explain why the tower has these. Like, where's the outside world? Are they all people of this? I don't know. And so I know there's a lot to do with like irregulars and regulars. And I know a lot of people are scared of the irregulars because I don't think they have the drawbacks of that Shinsu power like the normals.
So the irregulars, the reason they're scared of them is because the rest of them had to be chosen to climb the tower. The irregulars, basically, they had the power to open the gates to the tower themselves. And that's why they're scared of them, because they have the potential to be immensely powerful. And they can open the gates there on their own. Like, they don't need to be chosen.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. What's your kind of favorite part of that show? I think mine is the crown game. I think I really like that part of this series.
Okay, so I was going to probably choose the crown game as well.
There's only so many limited things you can choose from, and
if I couldn't choose the crown game, then I would just say anytime that Kun makes a plan that outsmarts everybody, because that dude is a freaking genius.
Yeah.
And you think he's going one way, and then he goes another, and then another.
The fight with the Ranker was
like
pretty
6
good.
plans. Yeah, he had like 8 different plans lined up so that everyone that he wanted to move on got to.
Yeah. So I don't know. I know the last episode tried to I don't know if they tried to like redeem a little bit of Rachel by telling her backstory, but all it did was just piss me off. So
it just made me hate her more.
Basically she just believed the tower was calling for her, but then when she realizes, Hadan tells her that you're weak, like
she was a mistake.
Yeah, you were a mistake. It did not call to you. You're too weak to enter. She full on just in disbelief and will do anything in her power to get to the tower. And her deal with Hadan is to kill Bomb. And I think it's all a ploy just to get Bomb on. I don't know if it'd be on their side, but Bomb gets pushed out. He finds his way to the bottom. And then this, I know from what I know, and I don't know if it's outside of the anime, maybe a little bit into the webtoons. I got to look into it more because I'm actually going to try to read that so I can understand it, because I have a tough time waiting, because if they're never going to come out season 2, I want to know the ending. So I'm trying to hold out, but they're taking way too long. But I know this organization takes Bomb and they train him. And so I'm hoping they train him. I'm hoping he meets his friends again. I'm hoping him and Kun can have that relationship again. And, with Gator, Rock, or whatever he kind of goes by.
Gator.
Yeah, he's... I love his character. But I'm hoping they don't rush through it. I'm hoping they can still tell the story that they're wanting to, and then I hope Rachel dies.
Yeah, I hope Rachel dies a very painful, slow death that we all get to watch because she's the freaking worst. Also, I wanted to ask you, so I've always noticed it in the credits ever since the very first episode I watched. What do you think about the fact that when it gives the character names, it calls Bomb, not just Bomb, but the 25th Bomb?
Yeah, I've seen that, and I don't understand if this is like, could it be one of those clone things? Could it be one of
clone, resurrection?
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering is like, is it something like that? Like, I want to read the webtoons just to find out why he's called the 25th Bomb.
Yeah, and who knows? I knew his name was 25th Bomb, but I didn't really look into it because, like I said, they don't give a lot of back history. These webtoons or these animes, they rush through a lot of what they're wanting to do, and they don't. You kind of have to figure it out yourselves. You can kind of piece it together. But did you see at the very end of the episode that random character that popped up? That with like the long brown hair, and it was right at the end of the show, and it almost teased like there was a new character.
No, I'll have to watch that again. Maybe I wasn't paying attention then.
When I watched
I don't remember that.
Go back and watch it, because you watch it and you see this person. He has like a ponytail, long hair. I can't remember if he has a spear or a sword or something in his hand, but he's standing there, and it kind of like zooms past him. And at first I was like, okay, is that Bomb 6 years later? Like, is that him? But no, it's all
a time jump.
Yeah, and I didn't know. And I didn't pay attention the first time I watched it. And I saw that for the second time. And then I saw it's a new character. It's one of the main characters that come into the webtoons. And so that is actually a really important character. But I can't remember what the name of that character is, because I'm not going into that far, because I want to see where the anime goes into. But I know it is a new character that has a huge role.
Okay, cool.
That's something you can kind of look back and see what you think. So,
all right, sounds good. We're hitting about our normal ending time for this podcast, which is about 30 minutes longer than what we ever wanted this podcast to be. But this is our normal time for now on. It's a little over an hour. It gives you plenty to listen to on a long time.
Yeah, take breaks on listening to it. You know, it's watch it listen to it a couple times. I don't care. Just at least try to hit us up.
Yep.
Yep,
try to hit us up. But before we give our media and everything, Tyler, what is your rating out of 10?
The fact that it is so confusing, I'm gonna give it a 6. I love the anime. I like it as a whole, but if you go into the show and you just you piece it, what do you have to go off of? There's so much left. Now, if they can come a season 2, 3, 4, and it all pieces together, that's when the anime could be an 8 or a 9. It has the potential to be an 8 or a 9, but I gotta give it a 6. I gotta give it a 5.5, somewhere around that range, because I can't give it more than that. Other than 3 of the characters I like. And the other ones are side characters. They're all good characters, but you're never going to remember who they are. But I think I'd go that with my rating.
Okay. I was leaning towards a 6.5 or a 7 myself, because the animation style, one of my favorite things when watching anime is I love seeing different animation styles, and this is a style that I hadn't seen before.
They do a good job with these webtoons. I don't know what their budget is for it.
At first, I wasn't sure about this style, but as I kept watching the show, I really dig this animation style. So that honestly puts it up a little bit. The story is confusing, so I can't give it like an 8. And I think I'm going to drop with you. I'm going to go with a 6, because they do not explain enough. I don't want an anime to hold my hand, but at least give me enough info to where I know what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
Because there's so much left in the air of the tower and the outside world and everything that I don't know what to think about. There's no world building.
No, you could Google it and you're still going to come out with questions. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a fair fair rating for where it is at now. The fact that it's been on like a 2-year hiatus, not saying that's a very long time, because we all know how Attack on Titan can take their breaks, or Sword Art, or all those other shows. But with it being a Crunchyroll original, we don't know when it's coming back out. I mean, there could be,
and they haven't announced nothing or anything. So,
all
right, so we'll give this one a 6 out of 10. That'll be our podcast official ranking on this. Other than that, anything else you want to add before we close out?
No, I'm good. I'm excited to kind of go into, I mean, it's kind of funny. We're going to go back to back Webtoon.
Yeah.
Got a high school, next week and go from there. So that's all I got. We're way past the time. So.
Yep. All right. So listeners, if you want to email us and send us questions, comments, or anything on the shows, hit us up at whatintheanime.podcast@gmail.com. Other than that, you can find us on all your social media. I recommend going to our Twitter or our Twitch stream or our TikTok. Those are basically our 3 most used sites. Everything else we still haven't really done much with. So with that out of the way, thank you for listening and have a great day.
Peace out.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at What in the Anime, and our TikTok and Instagram at whatintheanime.podcast.